Well, with this video, I'd like to show you that the eco project's not just about breeding objects and animals, but you can use the core code and built-in methods to run a variety of simulations. In this case, we're going to use it as a tour guide, where it's going to cross into the next region, loop around, and then come back and land back on the airstrip for us using two different types of movements, that being a ground movement while it's on the airstrip, and then of course flight while it's in the air. So what I did was I used the action object as a HUD, so it goes with me since we're crossing into another region. In here I defined some simple things here, like I created a custom method here to toggle the landing gear on and off, as well as I just set the text, say welcome to Eco Airlines. I got a sound that's playing as the idle engine, and then we're just basically here just binding a touch for just the owner for the simulation. When I touch this, it removes the touch and plays a more revved up engine sound. Now these are kind of just basic sounds, but it comes to about halfway down the runway, and then once it reaches that point, goes to this event, which takes it the rest of the way down the runway, to where when it reaches that point, it takes off, turns off the landing gear, which it'll hide the landing gear, and then it flies into the next region at a higher speed and clearing the buildings as it goes. And I'll set this off so you can see it get on its way. And from there, it triggers to go into the next. Once it goes into the next region, it triggers the region callback check. So once the regions change, it triggers this event here, check, which checks to see what region it's in. If the region is indigo, which it is, it sends it through this series here, the first corner, the second corner, and then finally leaves the region, -9, so that it sends it back into crimson. And crimson, if the region crossing is in crimson, it will call back to the approach event, and this is a reverse filter, so if the condition is true, it goes to this. If neither of these are true, it will pass the filter, and whatever's underneath of it will be triggered. So now that it's crossing into crimson, it's going to trigger the approach, which turns the landing gear back on, moves it down towards the base of the runway. Once it gets onto the runway, it will change from fly to run, and I've just got some custom speeds here that I'm using. So now that it's down here, it's going to go much slower, taxi to the end of the runway, and once it's done, it will toggle back to the start where it says welcome to Eco Airlines, rebinds the toggle, the owner only touch, which means, if I touch it again, it'll turn itself around roughly and take back off and repeat the course again. And I'll open up the breed setting scripts, which have some more information about how I made this happen. And I just disabled finish move, so that means when the region bind is triggered in the middle of its move, it will immediately go to its callback instead of trying to complete a move that it'll never be able to complete. So I made this disabled. I gave the target distance a little larger than its default, which gives it a little more space to complete its target distance. And then the only other thing I did, besides the move attempts at -1, just to make sure that it doesn't stop moving to its destination, As you can see, there's some lag issues and whatnot. But other than that, I set allow drift to true, which means it's allowed now to drift beyond its destination point, and which is kind of good for fluid movement with an airplane, which is going to be instead of just going directly to its destination and stopping and then going to the next destination. It'll allow it to drift a little bit past its destination point. So these are just some basic examples of how you can set this up. Now, in lieu of putting in predefined values, you could use the prop method and allow people to use like a text box or a simple touch event, which can save the different save points, so your customers can save different save points throughout their parcel or region or multi-regions, and then they can just go about it from there. This was just a simple example that this script is way beyond just breeding animals. So if you need any help with trying to set this up or any kind of pointers, just let me know. I'm always around.